Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webcast, How Technology and Data Can Revolutionize Your Sustainability Journey. In today's webcast, we will start with introductions, give an overview of COP27, talk about existing data and analytics toolsets and their sustainability use cases, and conclude with how we can help you in your sustainability initiative. And with that, let's get started. First of all, introductions. My name is Potechin. I am a data and analytics consultant at Thorogood, and I am joined today by my colleague Ewan. I've included our emails and LinkedIn accounts and encourage you to reach out with any questions you have or just to connect. So who are we and what do we do? Thorogood is an independent professional services consulting firm specializing in data and analytics solutions. We operate as a single organization, serving our customers globally, working in leveraged teams across our offices in Boston, Philadelphia, London, Bangalore, Singapore, and Sao Paulo. We provide a full range of services to support business goals. This includes, but is not limited to, covering the end-to-end lifecycle of any project from initial strategy and roadmap definitions, gathering requirements, designing and implementing complex systems, and training and support of business users. In terms of the technologies we work with, we are an independent consulting firm, meaning we don't work with one specific technology. We do, however, work and partner with many of the key players in the market in order to provide our clients with the solution that best suits their needs. And as we will see later on, many of these partners are driving themselves towards sustainable business. So next, I'll do an overview of COP27. Before we begin, I'd like to start with the acronym COP27. The COP in COP27 stands for Conference of the Parties, where the parties are the 197 nations that agreed to an environmental pact called the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change when they met for the first time in 1992. It is COP27 because the summit in Egypt this past November was the 27th time of meeting. After COP27, the UN published the 5 key takeaways from the summit. They are establishing a dedicated fund for loss and damage, maintaining a clear intention to keep 1.5 degrees C within reach, holding businesses and institutions accountable, mobilizing more financial support for developing countries, and making the pivot towards implementation. We've included a QR code link on the slide to the UN's information about these outcomes for you to read if you're interested. So let's look at the outcomes in a little bit more detail. I'll start with establishing a fund for loss and damage. The UN leaders agreed to start providing financial support to countries that are affected by climate disasters like floods and droughts. This is an important outcome as it is the first time that the UN is acknowledging the need for a financial response to the effects of climate change. While there has been funding allocated to the adaptation to global warming or to reducing carbon in the past, this fund will directly help the people who are suffering from the natural disasters that climate change is causing. Global leaders are also recommitted to the goal of keeping global warming under 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. Not only are we currently off track on this goal, but the Earth is predicted to be at 2.5 degrees above pre-industrial levels by the end of the century if there's no action taken against climate change. By reaffirming the commitment to the original goal, the UN is calling for urgent, accelerated, large-scale action. Maintaining 1.5 degrees will require a massive effort from governments, businesses, and individuals alike. In terms of large-scale urgent action, the UN specifically called out keeping businesses, sectors, and institutions accountable in an effort to combat greenwashing and drive meaningful change. It plans to scale up its Global Climate Action Portal, which is a platform used to track pledges, action plans, and annual reports. Next, the UN is asking its members to transform their financial systems so that they can make the necessary investments in climate impact and move towards a low-carbon economy. One of the considerations in the fundraising effort is for developed countries to take on more of the investment responsibility than lesser developed countries. The final outcome could be considered an underlying theme to all the other outcomes. The UN is emphasizing the pivot to implementation. Many of the previous summits have centered around goal setting and planning, but this time the focus is shifting not to the plan or the strategy, but to how to take action. Action that will be quite necessary to meet the goals set in previous summits. A large part of the implementation will involve energy and the transition from fossil fuels to more renewable sources. Later on, we'll talk through an example of how data can be used in an energy context. So, how do these outcomes affect the data and analytics industry? A few of them stand out from the rest. Firstly, the recommitment to the 1.5-degree goal requires projections, targets, and tracking. Data and analytics tools and processes are necessary in projecting the state of global warming, performing scenario analysis on what global warming looks like with certain reductions, and tracking the actual state of the climate. Having the right tools to handle these analyses will facilitate better decision-making and action on how to meet the 1.5-degree goal. Then, data and analytics can play a key role in keeping businesses accountable. One of the best ways to combat greenwashing is to provide actual data and action plans. Annual reports with sustainability metrics and KPIs are a great way for businesses to be transparent and accountable, and it's imperative to have a robust data architecture in place for those annual reports. Later, we'll show an example data architecture that can be used for such purposes. Lastly, data and analytics will be crucial in the pivot to implementation. As the saying goes, what gets measured gets done. Being able to collect sustainability data and properly analyze it will pave the way to the large-scale, urgent action that COP27 emphasized. And so with that, I'll hand it over to my colleague Ewan to talk about current tool sets and their use cases.
Okay, so with the second half of this webcast today, I'm going to talk through the tools that exist to help organizations with their sustainability goals. So let me start by showing you an example of an architecture pattern that we'd work with at many of our customers. Firstly, on the left, we have data-rich applications that we'll ingest data from. Then, we'll go through the typical extract, transform, and load process. When the data comes into the bronze layer, it will be raw, untransformed data. In the transition to silver, the data will be cleaned, filtered, and transformed to fit the necessary business case. And finally, the gold layer will consist of business-level aggregates, in which we can create reporting tables where the data is aggregated to a necessary level of granularity. After the data has been cleaned, transformed, and aggregated, it can be used in other downstream applications, such as visualization tools. This process that we've outlined represents a standard architecture pattern, but it can be used to help sustainability and reporting needs without much manipulation. For example, it could be used to ingest data concerning a company's energy usage or to understand a company's total emissions, and we'll show you some examples of this later. The key message here is that it doesn't require a lot of technical prerequisites to implement effective sustainability data reporting in your organization, just the will to do it. On top of the architecture pattern that I've just outlined, which demonstrates how we can use pre-existing tools in our journey to effective sustainability reporting, there have also been exciting new toolsets developed in this area, such as Salesforce's Net Zero Cloud and Microsoft's Cloud for Sustainability. These platforms allow for efficient management of sustainability data and better reporting of sustainability metrics, while helping to give actionable insights to businesses on how to reach their goals in this area. These don't require an uprooting of the existing architecture and can be used in combination with the architecture pattern outlined on screen to improve sustainability reporting. Above all, it's a clear sign that the big technology vendors have realized that there's a large demand for products which assist organizations with sustainability reporting, and they're moving quickly to satisfy that demand. As part of the Microsoft Cloud for Sustainability offering, Microsoft have introduced a new tool for tracking sustainability goals, Microsoft Sustainability Manager, which we thought it was worth highlighting. This tool enables organizations to slot in already existing data sets and combine them with an array of pre-written emissions calculations. From here, goals and scorecards can be set up to track and allocate emissions targets and performance against these targets. There are also fallbacks in case of a lack of data, Estimation factors can be used to convert proxy data into activity data. An example of this could be the square footage of a factory being used to estimate the energy consumption of said factory. Shown on screen here is an example of an Advanced Insights tab within Microsoft Sustainability Manager, used to track water consumption. This leverages Power BI within Microsoft Sustainability Manager to produce a slick report with multiple granularity levels. Sustainability Manager is a great start for organizations who may have a small amount of sustainability reporting currently, but who are looking to consolidate their data in one place. It brings a lot of templates with it, meaning that there's a relatively low setup cost. However, alongside products such as Sustainability Manager, there's also a demand to track specific goals. Turning our focus to how Thorogood have previously helped with tracking environmental factors, shown on screen is an energy reporting and modelling dashboard. This was formed through working with a large commercial property development and investment company to establish their overall architecture and design on a cloud environment. On top of the resulting cloud platform, we worked with them closely to use data from the platform, such as data from building management systems, energy management systems, weather, and CCTV systems, to understand their energy consumption across their buildings and how the various optimization mechanisms being put in place are affecting their consumption. We worked with them to obtain baseline energy consumption estimates through a regression model that considered energy data with other external factors, such as weather and occupancy. Based on each of the factors taken into consideration, we created multiple baseline models and identified which model is most apt for each building. The true savings resulting from an optimization mechanism being put in place is recognized as the difference between the actual energy consumption within the scope of this period and the baseline consumption derived from the model. This enabled the end users to determine the effectiveness of their energy optimization mechanisms. For a second use case, Thorogood have also helped one of the world's largest CPG companies to track a trio of goals that the company has set for the year 2025. A 50% reduction in the amount of virgin plastic it uses in its packaging, a 25% increase in its use of post-consumer recycled plastic, and 100% of its packaging designed to be either recyclable, compostable, or fully reusable. These objectives are the origin of a new tool that offers a comprehensive look at the company's plastic footprint in a number of key countries. Built in Power BI, the dashboard, shown on screen, offers an overview of key performance indicators in total packaging waste, and the percentage of packaging that is recycled and/or reusable. The main screen features the company's overall performance over time in each of these categories, and users can drill down deeper to identify variables that are impacting performance. This allows for an enhanced investigation and response. For example, suppose a user sees an uptick in the amount of waste produced in the South Asia region. With one click of the mouse, they can view how that figure is distributed across each of the countries in the region. A quick inspection might reveal that a single country is driving the overall total, at which point the user can deploy the tool to run a footprint analysis of the country. The footprint analysis offers a look at which product types are producing the most waste within the given country. From there, the user can run a scenario analysis on an individual product type, which leads to a screen that offers alternative packaging options that will not produce as much waste as the existing option. So hopefully that showcased the art of the possible for you. And what I wanted to talk through next are the next steps for your organization. It's clear that we have to take action, and take action quickly. We've shown you a number of possibilities so far, but the real value here is getting the ball rolling on your organization's sustainability initiatives. What I'm sharing now is our path to getting started to help you take action, and this is an approach that we've used with a number of organizations. It starts by identifying the best opportunities. This will be different for each organization, but it's the starting point. Whether it's gearing up for regulatory reporting requirements, understanding your emissions, or reducing packaging waste. The first step aims to highlight and recognise the challenges. We follow this with an initiation workshop, which will identify the first data and analytics initiative to work on. From here, we start developing the solution to prove the value. Typically, this is a 4 to 6 week engagement that will map out the different data sets needed and the velocity of that data to tackle the business goal, and then develop an end-to-end solution that can be shared with the business to provide initial insight. Once the value is proved, we move into the operationalization and delivery. This could include scaling these solutions across markets and products to tackle sustainability challenges at a global level. And then to help accelerate this, we use our proven toolkit, This combines our experience delivering data and analytics solutions across the sustainability space, with an architecture pattern successfully used across a number of enterprise customers. We also bring understanding of the data, such as what data is required and from where. Finally, we bring a variety of templates with us, including Power BI templates, ETL templates, manual data ingestion tools, and data models. At the bottom of the slide, you can also see our history of implementing sustainability solutions, stretching all the way back to 10 years ago across multiple customers and multiple different initiatives. So if this is of interest, then please reach out to us directly. We'd like to offer a free 1-hour consultation on anything we've discussed today, and we'd be very happy to talk to you on how you can get started with sustainability solutions within your organization. And with that, I'll conclude today's webcast with a final call to action. What gets measured gets done. Thank you very much for joining us today.